About a minute to go. This all we're expecting, Katie? Do you know if Cynthia?
Cindy did not
Or
send me an
Cynthia.
email saying she was not coming, so I don't know if maybe she just got caught in traffic or
I
something.
don't recall. Did Kevin say he was
Kevin
not?
said was not coming. Well, I think originally he did plan on coming, but he emailed me today saying he
This is crazy right now.
Yeah,
he would be unable to make it tonight, so
okay.
we will not have a Kevin. But Cindy, I don't know.
And will December be Kevin's last meeting? Okay.
Yeah.
We just got an application, I think on Monday.
Oh, nice, okay.
So we're gonna get that scheduled and everything.
Perfect. I think we're close enough. We can call the meeting to order, so I'll call the meeting of the Lewiston Planning and Zoning Commission for a regularly scheduled November 12th, 2025 meeting to order. So first item is call to order. That's been completed. Number 2 on our agenda is citizens' comment. So this is an opportunity for citizens to address the commission with comments and or questions about planning and zoning commission related matters that are not a public hearing action item on the agenda, and we actually don't have any public hearings. So does anybody have anything? No, anything called, emailed, snail mailed in?
Nope.
Well, perfect. All right, that takes care of item 2, easy peasy. So number 3 is our active agenda. So item A in our active agenda commission is approval of our September 2024 meeting minutes. Everybody get a chance to look those over? Perfect. So with that, I will take a motion if everything looks good.
I will so move.
It's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. All right. Motion carries. So item B on our active agenda is the Makana Addition preliminary plat review of proposal to subdivide 1.6 acres of land into 4 residential lots in consideration of the associated reasons statement of relevant criteria and standards. So see Mark standing by, so he will take it away for us.
Okay, commissioners, good evening. My name is Mark Wigan. I'm the city surveyor. I will be presenting the staff report for the McCanna Addition preliminary plat. So why don't we start out with our GIS image. Here we are. The preliminary plat of the McCanna Addition proposes to plat approximately 1.6 acres of land into 4 new development lots, and that's represented here. The property is located north of Vista Avenue, here on the south, and east of 7th Street. 7th Street is here. 8th Street is over here, but as you can kind of see, Vista doesn't actually go through, so it's not a complete block. Of course, Stewart doesn't go through either because of the canyon. So the proposed subdivision is composed of 1 standard lot with a frontage that meets or exceeds the minimum lot width for the R2A zone, and 3 flag lots with a shared access driveway configured in conformance with section 37-124 of city code for flag lot development. A single family dwelling currently occupies proposed lot 3, and that's down here. And there are accessory buildings on proposed lots 2 and 4. So this would be the one on 2. There's one over here on lot 4. And then the lot 1 is currently vacant. Proposed lot 1 is currently vacant. We also have some ground photos of the site. Our first photo is taken from Vista Avenue. In this view, we are looking roughly north at the existing single-family residence on the left side of the photo, which will be on that proposed lot 3. And then this existing gravel driveway kind of on the right side of the photo is actually in the same location as the proposed shared access driveway that will be constructed as part of the development. The property does have a slightly steeper slope than we generally see for orchards lots, but is still very suitable for residential development. Next lot, our next photo is here I moved forward or moved north to about the midpoint of lot 2. And I'm looking northwesterly across the north end of lot 2 and into lot 1. In this photo, we can see that the existing ground surface slopes northerly, but it is relatively smooth. And then the fences you can see here in in the photo run along the west side of the proposed subdivision, and the north end of the subdivision is on our side of this small building right here and these bushes. So that line kind of comes right across here is where that north end of that subdivision is at. In our last photo, I've turned to the right and I'm looking northeasterly towards lot 4. On the right side, we can see the larger of the two existing accessory buildings here. And then the open area to that left side of the photo is actually the north end of that proposed lot 4. And then basically this kind of this crest you can see along here is about where that north end of that other lot is at. So then this would all make up that lot 4. We'll move on to the plat itself. On the preliminary plat, we can see the proposed configuration of the 4 lots. The proposed shared access driveway is along the east edge of the narrower south end of the development and splits the wider north end of the development roughly in half. As already noted, the configuration utilizes a shared access driveway. You can see that here where all those 3 little narrow flagpoles come back to these back 3 lots. And that does have the obligation to provide a paved 20-foot wide fire apparatus access road. And they also need to include provisions for mutual maintenance agreements and non-exclusive access easements on the recorded final plat. Due to the depth of the proposed flag lots, a fire apparatus access turnaround conforming to the requirements established in the Lewiston Fire Department's standard operating procedure number 906 will be required to be constructed at the north end of the shared access driveway. And so this is that hammerhead style turnaround where the fire trucks can come in and turn around and get fired up. And then the city fire marshal also noted in the preliminary plat review that depending on the structure placement on lots 1 and 4, a new fire hydrant at the south side entrance may be required. And that's just depending on where those are proposed at. If they go too far to the end, they may exceed their hose stretch. Frontage improvements along Vista Avenue are required to be satisfied, and in this case can be achieved either by constructing curb gutter and sidewalk with asphalt patchback along the frontage or by paying a fee in lieu of, and that was offered by our city engineer since this is a narrow street. The proposed development is located in the Lewiston Orchards Irrigation District and the Lewiston Orchards Sewer District, and the respective utility districts have agreed in writing to provide water and sewer service respectively for the proposed development. Avista Utilities, CenturyLink Lumen, and Sparklight have also confirmed their intent to provide utility services. The subject property is in the R2A zone and the proposed lots meet the applicable standards for the R2A zone as well as Lewiston City Code section 37-124 for flag lot development. The preliminary plat is presented at a scale of 50 feet to the inch when printed at full scale, which differs from the 100 foot to the inch standard specified in section 3220A of subdivision code. But because the 50:1 scale actually provides for better clarity of lines, bearings, and dimensions as specified in Title 50-1304-1 of Idaho Code, city staff recommends that the 50:1 scale be accepted as exceeding the code requirement of the specified 100:1 scale. With the exception of the noted difference in scale, the preliminary plat complies with the applicable requirements of the City of Lewiston Subdivision Ordinance, City Code Chapter 32. City staff recommends that the Lewiston Planning and Zoning Commission recommend to the Lewiston City Council approval of the McCanna Addition preliminary plat as presented. And I have included a draft reason statement in the information packet, which incorporates information contained in the staff report for your consideration or use at your discretion. And this concludes the staff report, and I am available for questions. And we also have the applicant here if you have any for the applicant specifically.
Any questions?
That's pretty
Yeah,
straightforward.
that's great. Yeah. Pretty clear, so. Right, well, then if there are no questions for the commission or from the commission, then I will, or if there's not any discussion on the reason statement as presented, I guess I should start with that. Did anybody have any discussion, question, comments on the draft reason statement as presented? No?
No.
All right, well, with that, I will take a motion to move forward on the proposal.
I'll make a motion to approve, to recommend approval of the McCanna Addition subdivision preliminary plat and approve with the reason statement as presented.
I will second that motion. So it's been moved and seconded that we recommend approval of the McCanna Addition preliminary plat and the associated reason statement of relevant criteria standards as presented. So all in favor, say aye. Aye. Doesn't sound like any are opposed. All right, motion moves forward and it will move to the city council for approval on their end. So item C on our active agenda commission is initiation of zoning code amendment ZA 05 25 regarding parking lots. So with that, I'll let Katie take it away.
Good evening, Commission. Katie Hollingshead, Assistant Planner. So in front of you tonight is a proposal for some zoning code amendments, specifically regarding parking lots and some associated landscaping. So Joel did this one up, so there is a memo in your packet. So I'll review that and then we'll go through the specific proposed changes. So Joel has commented, staff, developers, and commercial property owners have been encountering challenges related to the administration of the parking lot provisions in the zoning code, most specifically regarding parking lot reconstruction. To resolve this matter, staff has drafted zoning code amendments for consideration by you with the commission. While drafting these amendments, staff identified provisions not necessarily related to the original problem, but deserving consideration for improvement also. These matters can generally be described as inconsistencies, redundancies, conflicts, unnecessary provisions, and overly burdensome provisions, and provisions that lack clarity. So we've also drafted some amendments to further improve the parking lot provisions of the zoning code, and we'll present this whole package of amendments. So also included in your packet is a redlined draft, all those changes. Kind of the big ones were a modification of the definition to adjust what a parking lot means. This way, that definition of parking lot matches up with both Public Works Code for parking lots, and then we will also be making those same adjustments to the zoning 37's parking lot code. So identifying that a parking lot is 2,400 or more square feet, and that means 5 or more spaces for motor vehicles. So those two, I felt that those two things were important to be specific about, because in other places of the code, it had said conflicting things. So we wanted everything to match. We'd like things to match. So one, identifying it there for the 2,400 square feet. Further along in the code, it design requirements for parking lots of 37 to 151. Again, says the parking lot for 5 or fewer vehicles, then you would not be a parking lot, but once you're over 5, then you are a parking lot. And then landscaping, again, kicking in landscaping requirements for 2,400 square feet or more. Previously it said like 25, because landscaping for interiors is a percentage base, right? So it was like 2,500 to 5,000. And I was like, so if a parking lot doesn't match up to that, then what are we doing with the in between? So again, to make everything match and make sense when you read through the code. Also changing that one to say 2,400 square feet. And then, let's see, eliminating, so you'll see in the list of 37-146, eliminating number 9, required parking not being in a yard. Most of the time in commercial zones, they don't have a front yard requirement unless they abut a certain street. And so oftentimes that's where you put parking is in front of your building. And so if you're being precluded from putting parking in front of your building because you can't put it in a yard.
Yeah.
That's dumb. And that has caused problems for us in the past, because then you have to tell people to put parking other ways. Eliminating 147 in entirety. That was code. So most of the current zoning code, like the whole rewrite was done in 94. So this particular section then precluded parking lots developed prior to 91 from having to do anything if they ever like went and repaved. So we're eliminating that because at this point, you're more than 40 years out and maybe you should do some improvements if you're going to rip all of your pavement up and redo it. So eliminating that. And then, like I said, changing the vehicular surface for percentage of interior landscaping to be 24 instead of 25, so it matches up with the actual parking lot definition. And then eliminating a couple more. So like C in the commercial, C in manufacturing zones, like front yards, so only like 2 of our zones in those have front yards. And if we're eliminating the other part where you can put your parking, then that would just kick in your parking landscaping requirements rather than you gotta put grass or whatever there. So again, just things that didn't make sense to still be in there. Or that were redundant. Changing, so we have a caveat that says we will give seasonal weather considerations, so we won't hold up your certificate of occupancy if you're trying to get one in December because you can't put your plantings in because it's December. So adding to that, because there are some caveats in code requiring certain kinds of landscaping and or site obscuring fence between commercial uses and residential uses. So giving the ability to give you more time if you need that, like if you've chosen not to do fence and you're doing bushes or whatever. So adding a little bit of language there, again, removing the manufactured and commercial zone stuff. This one was specific to grading and erosion control, which is not specific to zoning code and doesn't need to be in zoning code. And then just to continue to echo that a parking lot is more than 5, to add to the exemptions that you would not be required to do landscaping. So again, that it's clear if you only have 5 or fewer continuous parking spaces. Those are the big things. And I would stand for questions. I have questions.
Some of this matches up with what we discussed on the comprehensive planning
Yeah.
committee a
Yes.
few months back over the summer too, in terms of the language.
Yeah, trying to make things cleaner, more consistent, more development friendly. You don't want to eliminate landscaping altogether, but you do want it to be consistent and make sense throughout the code. So we were trying to solve one problem, kind of identified some other things that, hey, while we're in here,
Yeah.
let's fix some other things that are problematic to us, problematic for citizens to deal with.
We kind of,
Well, Commission, do we have any questions for?
no, I think it looks
Katie?
good. Like you said, in the work plan
Yeah.
meetings, this is a lot of what we discussed was kind of cleaning stuff up and making it little, and a lot easier for the general public to understand.
Yeah, so now you're not having to like, well, it says this here, but it says this here. No, it's the same thing.
Exactly. Well, I think it looks good.
Yeah, I agree. So with that, I will take a motion to initiate zoning code amendments, these zoning code amendments to Lewiston zoning code, chapter 37, sections 3, 146, 151, and 153 as recommended.
You said motion.
It's been motioned. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nope.
All right, motion carries. Well, all right, that takes us through our active agenda. So to item number 4, which is staff commission communications. So
Okay,
take it away,
sorry.
Katie.
Our next regular scheduled meeting would be November 26th, which is the evening before Thanksgiving. Traditionally, the commission has chosen to cancel that meeting. We do not currently have any items scheduled for that meeting. And I know in the past we've had difficulties making quorum because people travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's holiday, it is what it is. So just to confirm that we would like to move forward and cancel that meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm fine with
Fantastic.
that.
And then the next regularly scheduled meeting will be December 10th. With the initiation of the zoning code amendment, we will have a public hearing on that meeting. And I might have one other public hearing if I get the application in the next couple of days. So there will be items there. And that will also be Commissioner Kelly's last meeting with us. So we will be doing presentation of a plaque. And if I remember, I'll send Joel with cupcakes.
Perfect. And then you mentioned you had an application
We
for
did receive an
the,
application, I believe, on Monday for that open spot. So we will be getting that applicant scheduled for an interview. So an email will come out at some point to form that interview committee like we've done in the past. So be watching for that from the city clerk. Yeah. Is there anyone who's unable to attend that December 10th meeting? I know it's a month away, but
I should be able to attend.
fantastic. And that's all I have.
Well, perfect. Well, I want to say thank you to our newest member, Zach.
Thank you.
Remind me your last name again. I
Battles.
apologize. Zach Battles. So,
Nice to meet you.
yep. So he waited a couple months to join, to join the Planning and Zoning Commission because we didn't have a super active October, but
I had a good effect. That's okay. Settled there for a bit.
you had a little bit of time to settle in.
It worked perfectly,
so-
yeah, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for
I
joining the
could postpone
commission.
reading everything on the drive, which was appreciated, so.
Perfect. Well, fantastic. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
I will happily second that. All in favor?
Bye.
Aye. All right. Motion carries. Thank you.
I apologize to everyone.
Oh, it happens.
Flying down the hill and the moment you're like,